Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is the second part of how to reduce double cut lines. And this is a little bit confusing and it might not be worth your time. It doesn't really save that much laser time, but I've got these 6 name tags here and they're separate lines, so there's no double cut lines. For the video purposes, I'm going to just do 2 of them because it's a little bit confusing. And for the video, I'm just going to do 2. So I'm going to grab both these and I'm going to go Control D and I'm going to move them down. And all I need to do is reduce some of these lines. So I'm going to get my 2-point line and I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut here. And I'm going to cut here. I'm going to take my virtual segment delete key. I'm going to delete that. Delete these lines I do not need. And what that has done is allowed me to take my nodes now and reduce some nodes. Whoop. So I want it to look like this right here. So go to your shape tool and delete these 2 lines. Go to this node and delete it. Go to this node and delete it. Now for just a second, I'm going to move this over 2 inches and I'm going to take this node and delete it. And I'm going to take, no, I actually need that node. That's where I'm saying it's a little bit confusing. Now we can get this other one and we'll delete these 2. We don't need this one. And we don't need these 2. And we don't need this last one. So you basically have your shape, but I'm going to double check by moving out of the way. So I have, make sure I don't have a double line anywhere. And I don't. So now you can take these and let's group them together momentarily. And now let's Control D and make a duplicate. And now let's flip them. So now I have 2 separate, tell you what I needed. I also need to flip them. No, I had it right. So it's, you're going to have to draw a line between these 2 just like in the first video. And I agree with you if you're telling me this is way too confusing, because it kind of is. But you've got 2 name tags. Then you could take that one and move it out of the way for a second. This was going to be a separate line, so we need to combine those or group them for right now, or weld them. Let's go back and let's weld them. So now they're together. Now let's take our line back. So there's your 2 name tags. And basically you do the same thing for 6. Let's just make sure we don't have a double line in the middle. Let's tell you what, let's move this out of the way for a minute. So we got a good clear shot. And we have a double line in the middle between these 2. So very easily, same purpose. Take your virtual segment delete key, delete that, go ahead and grab both your lines, and then take your nodes. We weld it together. So we need to ungroup it for a second. Just take those 2 center nodes and delete them. Now we'll go back and put it back. Now I have no double lines. Well, I do right there. Same thing. Get your shape tool and get rid of that node. So now I have no double lines. Anyway, that's a lot more confusing than it's probably worth your time. And then some of you are going to say, well, those are 3 by 1 inch name tags. What if I need 3.5? Well, that's very easily. Same thing. Let's group these together. And where our name tags are 6. So now let's make them 7. Let's ungroup them. And now I've got a 3.5 inch name tag. Same thing if you needed it 3.5 by 2. Anyway, that's probably the most confusing video I've ever made. But it is kind of fun, and you might have learned something. And it's not going to really save you any laser time. I'm going to admit that right off the bat, because it's still going to, cut this and then cut that. And really and truly, just 6 name tags will cut pretty good. I kind of like this one maybe the best, as I showed in the first video, because this is one continuous seconds line, and it's a big piece, so it'll stay together. So when it goes back and cuts these other pieces, the piece hadn't fallen out. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.